All right, so I couldn't help myself. Obviously, you've seen this by now. The light's not changing as quickly as I want it to. So what I do is I round further down this path. I found again this boulder. I don't like boulders, right? It's not my thing. It's just it gives me a higher vantage point to get a better perspective so I can shoot down and kind of bring that foreground a little bit more into that scene. So I thought if I came off to the right a little bit, right before where this valley just kind of dips off into nothing, we have this gorgeous view and the light is perfectly hitting these mountains in the far background. So if I come up high enough, let me show you my frame. I'm gonna open up my camera app. I'm gonna switch to my 1X. It's automatically my default view. This is a view that I really like. So let's talk about the composition real fast. You're gonna notice right away there's a strong dynamic diagonal line. It runs right from the middle of that left-hand part of the frame all the way to the immediate bottom right. Again, I can pan down. Now it's not a strong composition anymore. It just doesn't make sense. I have way too uninteresting of a foreground. If I pan up, while that sky is nice, I'm kind of losing any sense of place at all. We have no idea. It just looks like I'm kind of floating here. So if I come back down, I'm gonna be careful about my composition now. This boulder is at just that right height so that I can align those peaks of those mountains in that far distance, in that far background, just along that top third. It almost aligns perfectly with that top horizon of that rule of thirds line. And at the same time, if I get just a little bit higher, I can ensure that that really strong diagonal line that's creating this dynamic composition terminates at the bottom right-hand side of my frame. So before that light changes at all, I'm gonna go ahead and take this photo. So one thing that I might not be the biggest fan of is this big tree off to that left. Obviously, it's not ideal. I would either like to have 1 or 3 trees. That's just a compositional tool to keep in mind in general. Odd numbers when you have foreground elements tend to be a little bit more dynamic. Regarding that though, also it's just a little bit tall to where it's cutting off or it's intersecting that line of that mountain range in that far distance. So while it's not ideal, it doesn't really bother me too much. Still, overall, I really like this composition, but let me show you what else this place looks like as I pan off to the right a little bit. Almost in every direction now, you can really see that this light is creating this gorgeous contrast and bringing all those autumn fall colors that we came here for to life. So it's really, really a beautiful scene. I'm gonna go ahead and line this up with that rule of thirds, that top third of the horizon. I'm gonna keep with that sky. You'll notice that boulder in the bottom part of my frame. Again, you're responsible for your entire frame, so you wanna look around the corners. I'm gonna take this photo to ensure that I don't have that boulder cut off in the bottom of my frame. Now, if I pan over a little bit more, I do have another composition. This isn't as interesting to me as that first two. But again, since this composition, this initial composition is beautiful, and the one immediately next to it, this might be a good time to try and get both in that same scene as well. So while I'm here, let's go ahead and try that. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to vertical, a vertical composition, and I'm going to scroll to my left 2 until I get to that pano option. Right away, it's gonna default to my 1X. You'll see that arrow pointing to the right, so all I have to do is click the shutter and just move the camera. You wanna move it steady along the horizon. You don't wanna go like this, and you don't wanna tilt it at all. It's gonna look really strange. The phone's gonna do a pretty good job trying to compensate for it, but to get the best image possible, we want to frame this up and be steady and just try and move our hips, not our upper bodies, so we can get a very still rotation in place. I really like that, but that's at our 1X. If we want to get a little bit more of compression in that scene, in other words, we're taking that middle ground and that background and we're going to sandwich them together, making that far background in that distance a little bit closer in the frame, a little bit larger in that frame. The way I can do that is switch over to my 2X. And again, I'm just simply gonna click this shutter button. I'm just gonna pan again to my right. I'm actually really happy with both of those, that single frame as well as that panoramic. So again, we made the most of it while we were here. You might try and scout another couple locations. We're not gonna go far at all. Once that light starts to change, and I'm gonna use the word once because I am hopeful, we're still gonna be in that right position to capture that beautiful image that we came here for.